Wrestling fans around the corner or around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
Whoa, wait, what? I don't have my watch on.
I do. Wanna know what time it is?
Yeah.
Come on, man, you know.
What time?
It's rush hour.
Rush hour, baby. Wrestling Insiders Rush Hour is next. Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive explodes into Christmas with 12 featured superstar guests. We can't bring you a live wrestling event due to COVID restrictions, but we'll be bringing you a series of cyber signings and meet and greets. On Friday night, December the 4th, fans around the corner and around the world can join a man involved in an intercontinental title scandal, as Savio Vega, as well as the man under the mask, is martial arts expert Quang, joins us for a live cyber autograph signing here at MWF Studios. Get a personalized autograph photo from Savio, signed live on the air and mailed to your home. Join us now through mid-December as the superstars help us continue our mission to update Santa Claus's GPS to find every kid's house this Christmas and put smiles on faces while honoring Paul Bearer's memory. VIP packages are still available. Don't worry, if you've missed a live superstar signing, every star is signing enough photos while they're here in Boston to fill VIP packages through December the 19th. Whether for your wrestling collection or to give as a holiday gift, if you're going to take part in any toy drive this year, please help our 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. Visit BostonWrestling.com and our social media platforms for complete event and toy drive information.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, it is Thanksgiving Eve. Leo, what are we having for Thanksgiving?
Hopefully it's vegan.
You're a vegan?
I am a vegan.
When we went to Kowloon, you had, what did you eat?
See, that was a long time ago. That's a very long time ago. I wasn't a vegan back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
my
I
wife
understand
changed
that now.
me.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
a vegan now. All right, well, what are we going to have for Thanksgiving? We still got to eat.
Maybe some vegan burgers.
That's what you're going to have for Thanksgiving, a vegan burger.
When you're vegan, it doesn't matter
Do
what
they
you
have
have.
vegan turkeys?
They
I don't
have
know.
vegan turkey. It's called tofurkey, but it is disgusting. I don't like it.
No.
Nah.
How long have you been vegan?
I want to say 2 years now. Probably 3.
And does it make you feel better? Was it? Was it an anti-meat protest? Like some people? What made you go through the change, other than your wife?
The documentaries that she showed me, or that she made me watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stuff about like animal cruelty and you know, everything bad in the world, pretty much.
Physically, how does it make you feel?
Pretty good. Pretty good. You know, this is the heaviest I've ever been in my career right now, but it feels like a good weight. It doesn't feel like I'm packed with, you know, processed meats and stuff like that.
You look great. I'll give you
Appreciate
that. For
that.
the promo pictures I've seen, you forgot to send me the promo pictures leading up to this, by the way, FYI. Oh, it's going to be $2 off the payday, brother. Let me tell you, that's going to be off the docket. But no, the promo pictures I've seen of you, you look fantastic.
Thanks.
I love the things you're doing with your hair. I love the things you're doing in general. You're staying busy right now. Major League Wrestling is going to be seeing the Leo Rush.
Yeah.
In addition to that, you made a big announcement that I was really excited about myself. Well, why don't you can say it.
Is this the big news?
The big news, yeah.
The big boy news?
Well, there's a lot of news.
Are we talking about
we can't, all right,
the man of the hour becomes the man of Japan?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm finally making my debut, Super J Cup. I'm so excited.
How did that come to be?
So, I honestly don't know. I feel like
you just woke up one day and there was an ad that said you're in the cup. Or
No,
what?
so I ended up running into Rocky Romero, who is well known for being, you know, super talented in New Japan.
Definitely.
And I just moved to LA, and Rocky is actually in LA. We ended up running into each other, and he knew that, you know, I just got released from the WWE. He knew that I was looking for work, and he also knew that I was hungry. I told him straight up, I said, you know, I will do whatever it takes to make New Japan a mainstay for me, just because New Japan was at the top, you know, probably at the same level as WWE when I was you know, first starting out in wrestling. And I said to myself all the time, I want to be in New Japan Pro Wrestling, even if that meant moving to Japan. And that's what I told Rocky. I said, if it came down to it, I know, you know, we're in a weird state right now with COVID, right. But if it came down to it, if there was an opportunity in Japan for me to, you know, be there, I'll be there, and I'll be there, you know, full time. You know, I don't mind putting in the work. You know, I don't mind making a few changes in my life to make, you know, something happen to greater my family's, you know, legacy and wealth. So, yeah.
And this is going to be in California.
Yep.
So you're not going to Japan yet.
No, not yet. But you know, this I'm treating this like a job interview. You know, I'm coming best dressed. I'm coming with my A game. You know.
I tell you that's why you're going to find great success if you're bringing the A game.
Yeah. So, you know, hopefully, I impress some pretty important people up there in Japan, and you know, one day we'll be seeing Lio Rush in Japan.
I can't wait to see that version of you exposed. And nothing against the body of work that's out there right now when you're with WWE, but that's limited in a lot of ways for a lot of great athletes such as yourself. For you to be able to go out there and truly go out and be Lio Rush, I think the fans are really in for a treat.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it, because I know what you can do. I've seen it. I guess I'm more excited than you. I don't know.
No, I'm pumped. I'm ready. You're talking to me, and I'm getting like pumped up.
When is it?
So what, the Super J Cup?
Yeah.
So this is going to be in December, early December. Yep. So.
In LA or?
Yep, in LA. Yep. So super.
It's quite a crew of guys that's in the tournament.
Oh my goodness, that lineup is stacked.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's truly, you know, and you look at it and you just think to yourself, there's only 8 guys in this. Look how many cruiserweights there are in the world, you know, and to be able to be a part of a tournament like that is incredible.
I know you put out your list on Twitter of guys you'd like to work, but one match personally, as someone that just enjoys wrestling, forget about working in wrestling, but someone that enjoys wrestling, I'd like to see you and TJP not worrying about time restraints and so on and so forth. I think that would be, I'd love to have that here in the MWF.
Yeah.
TJP worked with us last year, and he went over Matt Seidel right down the street at Memorial Hall. I'd love to see TJP Rush.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy working with him in the past?
I did. Never in a singles competition, though. We've always been in like
never had a singles match?
No. It's always
now
been
you're getting the juices going, kid.
Yeah, it's always been multi-man matches. So, you know.
I think he's just so creative, like you. I think he's so fluid in just the way he moves.
He's a very technical wrestler.
Yeah, I think
technical.
you guys would be fantastic.
Yeah.
It'll probably wind up happening in that tournament, but if the life ever comes back to normal here in the Northeast, wouldn't that be a great match for us to have?
For sure.
I'm going to make you the assistant booker now. Rush TJP. I think it would be hard to find a main event that would top that on any event.
Yeah.
One man's opinion, but I think I'm right. Tell us about Lio Rush going through the world of training. What did you think of the whole process? Hitting the ropes, taking the bumps. Was it what your body expected it to be?
Hitting the ropes, no. Taking the bumps, it's falling. So I knew that that would, you know, take a toll on my body. But you don't expect the ropes to mess you up like that, you know. Yeah. I had burns and marks and bruises on my back for for weeks, you know, first starting out wrestling. But you know, training was cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I like learning. I like learning every little detail. there were times where I got impatient and I wanted to, get to the drop kicks and I wanted to get to the, the cool moves and stuff like that. But
instead of going ABC, you were ready to go up to RST.
Yeah, but luckily I got through and I progressed with my training pretty quickly as far as the basics, because I had all of those basics down packed from amateur wrestling, and a lot of the chaining in professional wrestling and going through motions like that, a lot of that is similar to amateur wrestling as far as like the chaining is concerned. So a lot of the basic things first starting out in wrestling, I was kind of already familiar with from amateur wrestling.
I was just going to ask you that. You think the amateur wrestling background helped?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you encourage kids at home right now that want to become professional wrestlers in the future that they should get into amateur wrestling in high school?
I think so. I mean, I don't want to be biased because I enjoyed, amateur wrestling so much, but amateur wrestling is so hard. Probably the most physically demanding sport that there is, in my opinion. And I played a lot of different sports.
You did, yeah.
So, it helped me. Sometimes I don't like telling people what to do because I think I know what works best for me, and that doesn't always work,
Right.
for other people. So, it helped me out.
How did you go at one point from being Ly Green to Lennon Duffy?
Oh my goodness.
I never knew of Lennon Duffy.
So this was, and I think it was a rib.
Now, I'll tell you this though, but if it makes you feel better, at one point, Warbeard Hansen, Viking Raider Ivar, he was Ernie the cab driver Wilson. So if that makes you feel any better about Lennon Duffy,
oh gosh.
Todd, I know you're probably watching, buddy. I hope
That's
your neck
great.
is feeling better. I miss you.
No, so, goddamn Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak gave me that name. Lennon
Did
Duffy.
it have a meaning? Or?
I don't know. I don't know where he got the name from. I think when I went to Universal Studios in Orlando, I saw that there was a Simpsons World, and somebody was named Duffy. I think so. It was like a
Duff
Duffy.
beer.
Duff beer.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that he got it from the Simpsons. But I didn't find that out until, years and years later, until I got to WWE. And then, I get tagged and stuff all the time, and I randomly clicked on something, and somebody had, tagged me with, all of my accomplishments and the names that I've gone through in my time with, wrestling. And, of course, I saw L.I. Green, I saw Leo Rush, and then I see Lennon Duffy, and I'm like, shit.
You can't escape
I'm
it.
like, I literally used that name maybe 2-3 times during CZW Dojo Wars.
That quick?
But that was it. That was it.
Lennon, and then you found Leo Rush in your brain. Well, I think that was for the best.
Yeah.
We'll put Lennon Duffy along with Ernie the cab driver Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, I love being able to throw that one out. But so what did you think of hitting the road? How long did you train before you actually started to work in the matches at live events?
Funny thing, I had my first match before I even started training.
Now, how did that work?
I ended up going to an independent wrestling show, and the promoter, Samu Anawai,
okay. Yep.
he needed some bodies for a battle royal. And I was already traveling at the time. I was with Patrick because I knew Patrick. This was before MCW even opened up.
Oh wow!
And Patrick had a cousin that was a wrestler on the independent scene.
Oh really? You know who?
I think his name. No, I don't remember. I don't remember his name, but I do remember Patrick was traveling with him, and of course I traveled with Patrick because Patrick told me about MCW. So I was just trying to, I was excited. Any wrestling thing related, I was at. So yeah, I ended up going to this wrestling show. He had said, just bring something just in case. My gimmick is that I'm Persian or I don't know what the hell it was. The guy, Patrick's cousin.
Oh, okay. I thought you
And,
meant you. I was going to say that's a bit of a stretch.
No, but I was a part of that.
Oh,
He was
really? Okay.
He was like, bring some stuff. Maybe we can implement you into the group, this Persian group. It's called the Persian Empire or something crazy or weird.
And you probably had thought at this point, this is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, of course. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be in a match. They said, hey, we need some bodies for this battle royal. You want to be in it? I was like, yeah, I want to be in it.
But you didn't know how to take bumps.
Didn't know how to take bumps.
Really?
Knew nothing.
And Samu did he know that?
I don't think he knew. He did not know. But I looked like an athlete. I looked like a wrestler.
Yeah, at least you look like an athlete.
So,
and that's a problem
yeah.
sometimes you see on those bootleg independents that'll let, I think it's fair to say in 2020, when wrestling training centers are open again, a lot of the times it's like Little League Baseball. You go and you pay $100, no matter what you look like, no matter what ability you might have, no matter what ability you might not have, no matter what condition you might not be in, they'll still let you come in and play the game, and that's, I think, has hurt the independents. That's a different story for a different time. But, I mean, at least you were presentable, and as much as I don't like Patrick, he was in great shape, too.
Yeah. I was excited for that. And then shortly after, I started training. And then 7 months into my training, that's when I started getting booked on shows. I started reaching out to promoters here and there, seeing if I can, ride with people in the cars up to different shows. And, I wasn't getting paid anything really at all. But, at least.
You weren't getting any paydays at all for the early shows?
Not really. I would get paid about maybe like $25, $25, $50 to cover my gas, but that was it,
I always find this interesting. What did you think you were going to be looking at financially when you got into it, or did you even care at that point?
I did not care. I just knew, although I had a kid and I was trying to provide, I knew that my hard work would eventually pay off. So I didn't stress about the money too much. I just knew I just need to get on this show. I need to get on this show. I need to grab footage from this show so I can make a little promo package so I can promote and send to different promoters, and then that'll lead into another job and stuff like that. So I didn't worry about the money, too much.
Well, I think a lot of people fall into that trap, and unfortunately there are people that'll take advantage of that love of the industry. But there's good eggs and bad eggs in every batch, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm a hard ass at times. I don't let people take advantage of me. If I feel uncomfortable in a situation, I'll say it.
Good.
Yeah.
And you should. Some of you, a couple of great memories from the Indies early on. A couple of great shows you were on, a couple of great experiences, a couple of great people that you met.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many. And a lot of these guys, I think I met so many ex-WWE guys earlier on that are now with WWE, back with WWE, but they don't remember me. They don't remember that I met them when I first started out. But yeah, tons of great memories. I met so many, great and talented people. Where I'm from, MCW, the promoter, Dan McDevitt, he would bring in ex-WWE guys all the time.
He does a good job.
Yeah, so I would, I was fortunate enough to,
You're lucky you wound up in a good place.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of garbage out there, as I'm sure you have come to learn as time has gone on.
Yeah. So I met a lot of good people. I got some good advice, picked a lot of good, brains in the business. So.
And it's unfortunate because I bet you there's a lot of great athletes out there that have picked garbage training centers to go to. That'll, anyone with a ring and a U-Haul storage bin, $500, let's be a wrestler, and they probably become disenfranchised and move on to something else when they really could have a genuine career in the industry. But when you have an unregulated industry, like I said, it's Little League Baseball. Anyone can join, anyone can run shows, anyone can run a training center, anyone can call themselves a pro wrestler. It's
for sure.
But it worked out good for you.
No, it did. It did. It really
anyone give you some good advice when you were out on the road? Anyone pull you aside and say, Lie, I think you were Lie Green at this point, right? Lie, you could do this better. Lie, maybe you should go with this approach. Any veterans, whether they be independent talents or, nationally known talents?
So I got noticed pretty quickly by some of the top tier independent guys, like those independent guys that would, travel the globe, and they had a pretty, decent name. and I would just stick with them the whole time, and I would ask if I can just travel to different states with them, and I wanted to be a top level indie talent. I wanted to be at that level, and just be on cards with talented people all the time. So my crew back in the day, I would follow Sami Callihan around all the time, Shane Strickland, who's Isaiah Swerve Scott now.
He's great. I would have loved to have had him.
Yeah, guys like those two, Joey Janela. All those guys were so hot on the indies,
And you were traveling with them, or you'd just try and hang out with them at the events and pick their brains, or
both. I would travel with them. I would pick their brains, when we weren't at shows. I would send them messages and stuff, and I was always just trying to be seen and heard without being too annoying. I just wanted to show people that I really wanted it, so.
Well, I'll tell you this, like everything, the memories I have early on of wrestling, some of them are just so fantastic. Do you have any bad experiences?
Bad experiences.
Shows canceled when you get there.
Oh my God.
Payoffs you were expected that didn't exist or weren't anywhere close. Couple of bad experiences. Everybody's got them. Let's share them, baby.
Yeah,
what do you got,
a lot of.
You had a lot of them? I hate that.
A lot, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it comes with it. When you're on the independent scene, you don't expect anything to be perfect. You just shouldn't. Something is always bound to happen, whether it's small or big. Something is bound to happen. But I hate it when there's nothing worse than a ring that has uneven boards.
Yeah. I've heard that. Not that I've.
I just didn't. You get people who, break an ankle, tear an Achilles, In
a bootleg ring.
Yeah, I just didn't want that to be me. So, showing up, and.
Were you on a lot of shows that had shit rings?
Yeah. I remember getting a extremely bad bruise.
Really?
Extremely bad bruise on my on the outside of my left knee, because I took a spill, like a clothesline over the top rope, and hitting the side of the apron, or because it was always difficult for me to take those clotheslines over the top rope because I was so short.
Yeah,
and I know you're supposed to.
For you, that was kind of hard. Yeah.
Put your hand down on the apron when you spill over. But I could just never. I never could. So I ended up taking a line over the rope, and there was a board that was sticking out maybe about a good 4 inches, and I remember my leg just smacking that board, and the whole side of my left leg just turned purple the next day. Wow. It was a really bad. I wish I had pictures of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What promotion was that? Do you remember? Are they still around?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
I don't think so.
That's the problem. I mean, especially when you're young, you want work, you'll take just about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that the worst experience you had? Was in that ring, or?
No, I've had some pretty bad ones. I mean, it's very hard for me to remember every little thing. I've had, so many concussions.
You've concussions?
Yeah, I've had concussions.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Of course. I've definitely had concussions before from wrestling. But, I mean, those would probably be on the list, too, of worst things to happen to me.
Sure.
Another
that stays with you.
Another time, I completely tore my labrum, dislocated my shoulder, all within the same move. I took a nasty buckle bomb in the corner. To this day, I will never take another one of those.
Buckle bomb?
A buckle bomb, yeah.
They can go wrong.
They can go very wrong. I've seen people get thrown over the turnbuckle and spill outside of the ring.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a pretty scary thing.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell you, I flash back in my mind to January of 2015. I open up my Facebook. I get a little message in there from Ly Green. I got a green promo photo with you going like this. Do you remember the picture?
Oh, the striped tights.
I'm going to have to find the picture and insert it in here.
Yeah.
That was my first impression of you. And I'd never seen your work, but the way you just presented yourself in that Facebook message said, you know what? This is someone I want to work with. Now, at the same time, as I was doing all my great work here in Boston Wrestling and the MWF, I don't know if you even remember this, but I got involved with this con job called CCW with this scumbag named Ron Kennedy, who, if I ever find him, the venom that I have in my heart, worse than Patrick. And you know what I think of Patrick Clark. Ron Kennedy, if I ever find him, because he included my kids in this disaster of a promotion. I signed a contract to run their talent relations and perhaps do commentary. I was open to that if they needed it. This idiot went out and rented national buildings that National Promotions would use down south. And I remember I reached out to you and Patrick for tryouts. This idiot's concept for wrestling was he wanted to rent major league venues and let people in for free. And he thought he was going to fill them using all indie talent. And I said, no, this isn't going to work. And it turned into a big disaster. I'll have to save that for the Dan Marty book. But this man wound up going to jail for fraud for all of these buildings that he rented and defrauded. And I was disappointed because here I have, I remember you. This guy's in AEW right now doing the YouTube show called Doc. Baron Black? Or Black Baron? Baron Black. Out of Georgia. I think he was trained by Mr. Hughes.
Singlet.
Yeah. He was one that I was going to try and get in there for tryouts. I remember Chris Sabin, Kevin Nash, Bob Hawley, all of these people that I felt like I let down because I booked them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of this lowlife that, for whatever reason, in his mind, thought he was going to create this national wrestling promotion. I mean, he defrauded hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm glad he went to jail. I was told by a friend in North Carolina he's out. You want to know what got me the most? You want to know what got me the most? And you're going to feel this because you're a dad. He said to me, you won't believe how many trips you're going to take your kids to Disneyland.
Oh, my God.
And you know what? A lot of people will fuck you over in wrestling. Unfortunately, for a great egg like you, there's some scumbags, unfortunately. Yeah. And this was one of them. But it's one thing to defraud me on the contract I signed. But that line I'll never forget. It wasn't actually Disneyland, it was Disney World. Don't bring the kids into it. That's why there's venom. I might detest Patrick Clark for being a lowlife and a liar, but he didn't involve the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, well, but I'll never forget the way you presented yourself to me. That's why I thought you were so cool. Then that summer in August, you came up with Patrick when he was fresh off of the Tough Enough reality show. We had a fun couple of days. Patrick did his interview, which we mentioned is available on the channel if you want to check that out and get to know an early Velveteen Dream. And the footage of you, like I said, is somewhat lost. I don't know where it is. But I am bound to find it because we did a great 2015 interview with Ly Green.
I need to see that.
But you don't even know the surprise I have for you before the end of the day.
Oh,
well. As I've noted before, folks, when we do these interviews, we have to tape several episodes at a time because it's the only way we can afford it. But in an earlier interview, I lit up like a Christmas tree because I remembered I had something for you at my desk. And when you were handling some of your other Leo Rush business, I went and got it at my desk, and I brought it in here. But we'll save that for later on. I lost my train of thought. So, great trip up to Boston. You cut a great promo out there on the loading dock. Again, very impressive. Unfortunately, we had you booked in your MWF debut. Patrick and I went to war with WWE Talent Relations, which is another story for the book. But a match I was really, really looking forward to. I remember the match graphic was you and Flip Gordon. I thought that would have been a tremendous match. You know, at that point, two guys that were more green, definitely, than they would be in 2020. But I think you guys would have tore the house down.
Yeah, for sure. That would have been an awesome match.
And you wound up, unfortunately, just a couple of days, we were talking about it earlier, you suffered a really serious injury just a couple of days beforehand.
Yeah, really bad, really bad. Thought I broke my back. Thought I broke my back.
Tell the fans how that happened.
Yeah, so I was on this show, And being the high flyer that I am, I decided I wanted to do a dive on the outside of on the ring with 2 people standing out there. And when I went for the dive, they split like the sea. I smacked the ground, no pads, and I couldn't move for a good 15 seconds.
Wow.
Thought I broke my back. I couldn't feel my legs. Yeah, it was scary.
And you want to know, it worried me because, again, not only were you booked a couple of days out, but this wasn't something I saw from fans. This was something that X-Pac had put out.
Yeah.
X-Pac, he's been right here in this very building before, but, I was worried you were seriously hurt.
Yeah.
You couldn't do a show, obviously, a few days later at that point. So we missed out on what could have been an independent classic of a young Flip and a young Ly Green, but who knows? Maybe somewhere down the road.
Yeah,
One thing you were doing in 2015 was Ring of Honor tryout camp.
Ooh.
Try and get yourself out there. Describe the experience. I know you have to spend a little scratch to get in one of those tryouts, but what was your first Ring of Honor tryout experience like?
It was eye-opening. It was challenging. It was exciting. It was definitely something that I feel, gave me the push that I needed in order to be where I am today. Because I ended up doing 2 Ring of Honor tryouts. The first tryout, I impressed people, but they said that I didn't have enough experience, so they didn't want to sign me to a contract.
Who was running the tryout?
Delirious. Delirious was running the tryout. I remember Jay Lethal being there. I remember
Jay?
I remember Matt Taven being there. I remember a few other people, important people that were on the roster. And they were all running the camp. I remember Steve Corino being there. He was doing the promos. And yeah, they said they didn't want to sign me because I needed to go out and get more experience. So that's exactly what I did. I went out.
So it was a worthwhile experience.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
It was worth the money.
Yeah, yeah. And by them telling me no and that I needed to get more experience, that led to me being booked at CZW, which was a huge point in my independent career.
Sure.
And that CZW booking led to me being booked for Evolve, which got me in front of Gabe. That Evolve booking led to a tour in Canada. That Canada booking led to a tour in Mexico. That Mexico booking.
You were on one of Danny Duggan's long tours up in, always going to kill me, I forget the name of it. Is it CWE? CWE, yeah. Danny and I have been trying to put something together. I have wanted to go on one of those long tours forever. I was this close. I was booked to go. I don't know if it was going to be ring announce or something, but I ran into a passport problem. It didn't come in time.
Wow.
But I was so excited to go, and I still want to go because I tell you, what wrestling fans, look up CWE. What Danny Duggan does, well, under normal times, is amazing. Where else do you see a professional wrestling organization doing tours of 30 and 40 days in a row?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the last of the Mohegans. There's no promotion anywhere that does that.
No.
And I respect Danny so much for the hard work he puts in, not only as a wrestler, but promoting the shows like that, almost from scratch. It's almost like making a meal the way he does it. Danny, I hope you see this because I think the world of you too, buddy. But how long of a tour? I don't think you did the whole tour, though, did you?
I did a 15-day tour.
15-day tour,
Yeah,
wow.
15.
And what did you think of going through some of those rural Canadian spots? It was like, you talk about your watch.
So
it was like rewinding your watch to 1950.
It was. You would get to some places, and you drive for 4 or 5 hours and not see a single thing.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, but it was fun. It was extremely fun. I won't say those tours because I've only been on one of them, but that was unlike anything I've ever done. And I'm glad that I did it, and I'm glad that I was on that tour with the people that I was on it with, because they made the time there, really enjoyable. So
I got to do it.
yeah.
I feel like it's on. There's two things in wrestling I haven't done that I want to do. I want to do Danny's tour, and I want to go get my Ribera Steakhouse jacket. Other than that, I feel like I've done it all.
Can I even get one of those?
Me or you?
Me.
I think you got a better shot than me, brother.
But don't you got to eat a steak, or do you have to just go
Oh,
there?
that's right. Yeah, you don't. Well, unless you got a little Patrick in you, I don't know. But I guess there's no meat in you.
Oh my goodness.
There's no meat for Leo Rush. But I don't know why. I just feel like after doing this now 27 years, October 23rd. Yeah, I was 13. 27 years, I want that jacket. Am I asking for a lot in life?
I guess you got to go to Japan.
I want a coat, and I want to go to these rural Canadian towns that probably are lucky to have electricity, never mind the internet. But it was a good experience overall. Tell me about the Ring of Honor Top Prospect Tournament. How did you get involved with that? What impressed me about that, I look at the people that have won it in the past. Matt Taven worked with us a lot. Warbeard Hansen, former MWF heavyweight champion. You also won this tournament. How did you get involved in the Top Prospect Tournament for Ring of Honor?
Yeah, so that happened off of my second Ring of Honor tryout. And, after, them seeing me come through on the first one, and them saying, we need you to go out and get more experience, make a name for yourself, then come back. They saw that I did that, came back with more experience, came back with a bigger name, came back with a little more confidence, completely blew it out the water from the promos to the in-ring stuff. And they said, yeah, we want to sign you. And I was like, hell yeah. And they said, not only were we going to sign you, we want to put you in the Top Prospect Tournament too. So that's how that happened. It happened like so quick. Just like that. So that was a good feeling.
So let me, again, let's get real for a second. 2016, that would have made you what at that point? 21, 22 when you were in the tournament?
21, because I got signed at 22.
Just a couple of years in the business, a young dad, in your Ring of Honor, one of the top promotions in the world, says, you know what? You're not only going to go in the tournament, you're going to go over in the tournament. You can say wrestling's a work, this and that, wins, losses. But forget about Leo Rush, how did Lionel Green feel that night?
Well, people know that wrestling is predetermined now. By now, the business is exposed to the world, and a lot of people say, it's fake.
I don't use that word. I hate that word. I hate that word.
But check this out.
I don't know about you.
Check this out. They made that decision based off of me doing what they told me to do off of the first tryout. All of the work that I put in wasn't fake. All of the bumps that I took wasn't fake. All of the sacrifices that I took wasn't fake. Everything that I've done to get that opportunity and to be presented with that, honorable moment right there was based off of very real things that I had to do in order to get an opportunity like that.
It was real to you?
So it was real to me. And, for them to say, not only are we going to sign you, not only are we going to put you in the Top Prospect Tournament, you're going to win the tournament, because we see how much work that you put in, and we see, that you have value to the company.
And again, that's one of those times when you go home at night and you turn the lights off. There's no TV, there's no music, there's no cell phone. All you have are the thoughts in your mind. That must have been a great night when you went to sleep that night.
Yeah.
Because for all your sacrifice and your hard work, it all came together and paid off.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of a deal did you have with Ring of Honor? You were still allowed to do independence outside of Ring of Honor shows, were you not? Were you full-time or part-time?
I believe I was part-time.
Okay.
I was on a non-exclusive one-year contract with Ring of Honor.
Oh, it was 1 year? I thought you were there for 2 years.
I was there for a little under 2 years, but after the first year was up, I was kind of on a per appearance type deal.
I see.
Yeah, but I had that contract for 1 year.
not to get too personal, we'd
Yeah.
never do that on a show like this, but I've heard the money is the shits.
Ooh.
I mean, from a guy, a relatively top guy there told me how much he made annually, and I almost choked.
Let's
so I
just
can't
say,
imagine for someone on a part-time deal.
Let's just say I made more money this month on my OnlyFans than I did with my whole first year in Ring of Honor.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, you know what? The hell with the script. All I know is that OnlyFans is some kind of a pornography website. What are you doing on OnlyFans? I forgot to ask you this. What do you do?
So
You're not showing how you made the third baby.
No,
all right.
no. So I mean that was what the site was originally intended for. But then you
So
started.
what do you do with it?
You started seeing all of these celebrities and influencers and you know, TV personalities get on this site and just give people exclusive content. Whether if you're like a musician, you'll like, I don't know, post unreleased music on there, or snippets of unreleased music, or your process of how you're making things. Or if you're an actor, you're posting stuff of you like backstage, like on set and stuff like that. It's just giving your fans an inside look of what your profession is, or whatever you can make it into whatever you want to make it into.
And how much do you charge a month?
$30.
$30 a month?
Yeah.
And what kind of content do you give fans?
A little bit of everything. I do so much.
Maybe you should. You know what? I don't want to overrule, but my mind is always thinking maybe you could do an exclusive little video here for them if you want. And a OnlyFans. What I want to do is, honestly, I don't know how often you watch the other talk show series that we do. I want to put an ad for your OnlyFans on there. Why not let it scroll? I want you to do as well as you can do, as you're a good soul. What is the link? OnlyFans.com/?
/Leo Rush. They need to make an app for it.
Yeah,
because
right?
so many people are getting on it now. But /Leo Rush.
And you're doing good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, it shows how little I know. I just thought it was, I know what Sonny was I don't think Sonny was showing some exclusive content, but that's a different story for a different time.
Yeah.
I was confused. I didn't know why you were on there. I didn't know that these influencers from social media and whatnot had taken it over too. So it sounds like a pretty good platform.
The Disney, I forgot what her name was, but this Disney star, this girl, she made $2 million in 2 days.
$2 million?
In 2 days. So that's
how much was she charging?
Probably the highest amount that you could
something like that?
possibly charge,
What's
or something
the
like
highest
that.
they charge?
I think it is 30.
30?
The 30
Oh,
for
so
a
you
monthly
go
subscription.
high, baby.
I try, yeah. Why not? Why not?
You're making the cash, right?
Yeah, why not?
Is there a way I can check it out without paying?
No.
No, I got it.
No.
It's like our Patreon here at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling, where for the price of a Starbucks coffee, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Ad-free early access to all of our talk shows, the entire Studio Shoot interview DVD library, and again, let's keep these guys working. Join the Patreon. We have a lot of fun over there. Along with this chat, the Super Chat is always live during the premieres Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. So I want to plug the OnlyFans. I want you to join and see what Leo is up to over there. He's a little more expensive than us, but he's a very classy, very classy individual.
Very classy. Very
classy. And he's also on Twitter at @TheLionLGreen, if you're not following on there. So you know what? Now that you're part of the Wrestling Insiders family here, I guess we're going to have to make some nice graphics. It's not, to me, and I think we've had these talks off the air, I don't want the guys to come in to look at it as a booking. I want them to look at it as a platform that they can use to not only tell their stories and experiences with the fans, but for it to branch out into other things. For it, like with Marty Jannetty and Tony Atlas, to help with bookings. With Tony Atlas, I don't know if you know the great drawings that he does. He's a hell of an artist, and we've been able to get him work during the worst of times during coronavirus, doing artwork. So we want you to support Leo in all of his endeavors in and out of wrestling. you and I discuss some really cool things that you have coming up that we the kayfabe, baby, as they say in the mafia, omerta.
Yeah.
We're not going to discuss it, but in future episodes we will, once it becomes a public thing. But you're doing so much, you impressed the hell out of me. Let me ask you about this memory. Dallas, Texas, April 2016, Ring of Honor invades Dallas WrestleMania weekend. Lio Rush takes on the former Millennium Wrestling Federation television champion, Jay Lethal.
Yeah, that was a moment. That was a big moment. I was nervous. I was so nervous, but I was ready. Man, come on. Ring of Honor, me being so new in the company, main eventing the show at WrestleMania weekend in front of, I don't know if you were there in person.
No, I was not.
But that crowd was insane. I think we were in a huge ballroom, and I think it held maybe about 4,000 people.
Sold out.
Massive. It was incredible. I remember that was my first show that I spent just a little bit more money than I usually do on gear. And I remember
You had special gear, man.
I bought some new gear. I remember it
Well,
was blue and white.
What's good gear go for?
Good gear?
Yeah. What's good Lio Rush gear go for?
Oh my goodness. Good Lio Rush gear. So you gotta oh my gosh. So you gotta.
Because you're always looking good. I'll give you that. You're always you spend the money well. You're looking
So
good.
I'll tell you the most that I've paid for
All right.
gear. Not what I spend on it every time, but this is the most that I've spent on gear.
Primo gear we're talking now.
Yeah. I think my most expensive set of gear had to be, and I don't know if you saw this gear. It was I wore it in NXT. It was when I was the Cruiserweight champion. It was a brown outfit. It was like Gambit inspired. It was brown, pink, and gold. And I remember I had.
Did you wear it at Survivor Series?
I did. Yep. I had the brown headband. I had the long brown trench coat with the pink.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I think those are in the 8x10.
That was my
Maybe
most.
that's why it's so fresh in my mind.
That was my most expensive gear. It was.
How much did you have to drop on that?
It's either between that gear or the gear that I'm wearing currently, which is the orange, and you see with the mask and the big wings and stuff like that. So maybe the orange one might be a little bit more expensive, but I think it was. Oh my God! It was in total probably about 4,000.
Really?
Yeah.
You dropped $4,000?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, in total, yeah.
On just that one outfit?
I know.
Wow! I mean, hell of a tax write-off.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
And I know you were trying to unload them on your Facebook.
But it was worth to me. It was worth
to
it
you?
because in my mind, you got to take into account that I thought that was going to be my actual final match. This was the orange gear that I wore for my final match with Joey Janela
Over the summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had the orange mask. I had the wings.
What was the deal with the mask? I never understood that. I know you were trying to sell it at one point, but.
So you probably saw the prototype, which looked like shit because it did.
Yeah.
Because it's the prototype. Yeah, that was WWE ended up changing my logo. They were talking to me for weeks about, we want to switch it up with you a little bit. We were thinking about changing that's my Hunter voice. We were thinking about changing your logo, thinking about changing your character, blah, blah, blah. And creative came back to me with this image of, they changed my logo into an actual moth. Because I was just calling myself the Man of the Hour.
Man of the Hour, okay.
But the acronym with the MOTH. So they saw MOTH and they were like, oh, let's just make an actual moth and put the moth in a clock to kind of do both. Man of the Hour with the clock and MOTH, moth. So I was like, okay, let's try to make this moth thing work. So I ended up getting some moth gear to match with the whole thing. And showed it to Hunter, and he was like, "What is this? What are we doing? I don't get it." And I was just like, "I'm going off of what creative is bringing me." And I showed him all the prototype stuff. I showed him pictures before I even showed him it in person. And he was like, yeah, that's cool. So I ended up bringing it to NXT. I remember I was doing like entrance rehearsals. I was doing entrance rehearsals with the camera crew, with producers and everything. Everybody loved it. Lighting, they were switching the lights for me. They were giving me smoke. They were doing a whole bunch of everything. I guess Hunter ended up seeing it on the monitor in the back. He came out and was just like confused, like, what are we doing here? And I was just like, you know, and this was the same day that I had big title match with Angel Garza. I was like,
oh, so this was towards the end of
yeah,
your run. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, this is gonna be my gear for the night. I figured, you know, because in my head I'm like, y'all are not booking me on any fucking takeovers, so this is my takeover moment right here. You keep telling me that you're gonna book me on a takeover, but it's not happening. So I'm like, let's get some takeover quality, you know, gear for my big title match with Angel Garza. And he was like, no, we don't wanna do this. We don't wanna go in this route. It just looks like you're trying too hard. And I'm like, trying too hard? Like, what do you mean? My logo is an actual moth. What, trying too hard? Like,
and they created it.
It's not like
it wasn't your idea. Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not like I'm changing my gimmick to a moth. This is just my entrance gear for tonight. I'm coming out with wings. I got this cool vest. I'm the champion. Shit.
Now, did you actually like this?
No, I liked it.
Or did you dislike it and you were going along with it?
I don't complain about too much and let.
So you were fine with it?
I was fine.
Okay.
I was fine. But when you start making me feel like I'm crazy for something that wasn't even my idea to begin with, then that's when I started to get irritated. But the whole thing of him saying, you know, it just looks like you're trying too hard. And I'm like, your moniker is like, you're the game, all due respect. But I saw you come out at WrestleMania in a fucking Terminator outfit. So it's like...
Yeah, he's had some original creative ideas. I remember the WrestleMania in Texas. He had about 40 guys with skulls and championship belts.
So it just wasn't registering to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
did they think maybe you went too big?
I don't know what he thought. Yeah. But I just didn't get it because, you know, this was a big championship match. They were building it. The storyline was incredible. This was the hottest thing on, you know, nobody was expecting the Cruiserweight title picture to be the hottest thing on NXT. But my series with Angel Garza, it was hot, you know, and I just came back to NXT. We weren't booked on the takeover. They said that we were going to be booked on the takeover, but we weren't. And I was just like, okay, this is a big fight feel. Let's dress like it's a big fight feel. And yeah, he just said, no, we're just going to treat it like it's a normal match. And I'm like, okay, that's why nobody gives a shit about the Cruiserweight Championship. Because you're like, you know what I mean? Like, make it feel big.
You know what were you and I talking about earlier when we were doing different things before we taped this episode? Attention to detail, the small things.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're exactly right. That's why people say Cruiserweight Championship for the most part. They think, wow, great athletes. Nobody gives a shit because there is no attention to detail. They don't treat it as anything special. They don't treat it as anything unique. They gave it that 205 Live show. That has about as much life as people dying of coronavirus in the hospital. I mean, I don't know anyone that watches 205 Live, do you?
I knew people that were watching it when I was on it. I don't know about right now.
Well, when you were on it, it was a different story. It had a little bit of life to it. But I'm not knocking any of the wrestlers. It has nothing to do with the great athletes.
No, and it's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate.
Like, those guys are so talented.
It should be a great platform for the guys to go out there and work a cruiserweight style that you don't see on Raw and SmackDown. But they don't want to overdo certain things, and they limit cruiserweights to work the style of big guys. And I don't understand why you have a specific division if you're not going to let them work the style that they are. I guess is where my confusion comes from.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that's confused by that?
No.
All right, good. All right. So I'm not crazy then.
No.
All right.
No.
Well, back to Ring of Honor as we wrap up this program. You worked an August pay-per-view. Was it Death by Dishonor
Death by Dishonor,
Las Vegas?
Yeah.
In a 4-way match. Was it good to be back on pay-per-view?
It was good. Yeah, it felt really good. It felt extremely good.
Would Ring of Honor, I know I'm not as familiar with their structure as WWE, but would you get a bonus for a pay-per-view?
See, yeah, I don't know.
You don't even remember.
I don't remember.
You don't even remember.
I don't remember. I don't remember getting a bonus. I'm just gonna say that. I don't remember. I could have gotten a bonus, but I don't remember. I don't remember it being a thing that stuck out like, oh, I'm booked on a pay-per-view. I got a bonus now. Like, I don't think that was a thing.
Do you have a favorite match in Ring of Honor? A couple of favorite matches? You weren't featured on a lot of the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
You were more of a TV guy, but
Yeah.
The lethal one, obviously, as we mentioned. But
I also worked Marty Scurll on a pay-per-view one time.
and how did you like that?
That was a really good match. I really enjoyed that match. Another time where I kind of like went all out for some gear, and I wanted to, you know, rise to the occasion and show people, you know, why I belonged on pay-per-views. But anytime I worked Donovan Dijak, that was those are by far my favorite matches in Ring of Honor.
And talk about a contrast of styles where he's such a bigger guy. How did you like working with him?
It was fun. You know, not only because he could base for me, but at the same time, he could base for me. He could do things that'll make it look like he's killing me, and at the same time, he was kind of agile and flippy himself. So it was fun. It was fun to work him.
I tell you this, not to be cruel, but what has happened to him?
Oh man. You know, the only good thing about that
is he's getting a good check.
well, I guess that would be two things. Nobody, you know, he looks different than what Donovan Dijak looks like, or Dijakovic. So if that goes to shit, you know, he could grow back out his hair, take the mask off, and just go back to what he's doing. So, you know, I mean, not saying I don't watch the product. I do scroll through.
You're familiar with it.
And I see clips here and there, and I'll see people saying, because I didn't know that was Dijak until somebody said that it was Dijak.
Oh, really? Okay, so they did do a good job.
So when I saw it, and I knew that it was Dijak, I was like, shit, like Dijak is so good, like on his own. Like he doesn't need all this. So, I don't know.
He had a great series on NXT with Keith Lee.
Yeah.
I tell you, Keith, I have so many great relationships in WWE, but I feel like you have to be honest on shows like this. What they've done with Keith Lee since they brought him up to the main roster, someone with so much potential that could make an impact. He's a big guy, which is a rarity nowadays. It's hard to find big guys like that can go. And, you know, first couple of weeks he's in a program with McIntyre and Randy Orton. He went over on Randy Orton on a pay-per-view. And then he turns into one of those guys, the 50-50. Win one week, lose the next week. Win one week, lose the next week. Then they have him do the generic promos where he almost sounds like a lounge singer at some bootleg bar out in Las Vegas. And it's a shame because you're talking about a world-class talent like yourself. Not that he works the Leo Rush style, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But Dijak Leo Rush, I don't think I ever saw that. Is it on YouTube?
Probably not on YouTube.
Well, I'll find it
Probably
somehow.
like the Ring of Honor network or whatever they have going on.
I hate to say it, and I won't say who, but they have their own network or something like that, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Honors Club or something like that.
Yeah, one of the guys gave me their code, and I don't think I ever used it once to get in. And I missed you and Dijak as a result of it. Well, what led to you to say, you know what, my time here is done? You said you had a one-year contract. Second year, you said, was on a kind of a per-night basis. They weren't putting you on a lot of pay-per-views.
Yeah.
What made you say, you know what, it's time to move on in 2017?
They just didn't. They had no idea what to do with me. They had no clue. And
you knew it.
Yeah, I knew it, and a lot of the, unfortunately, a lot of the guys in Ring of Honor didn't like me for whatever reason.
Why?
Nothing really happened in order for people to not like me, but a few people, I guess, just didn't end up liking me, and I felt.
Who didn't like you? I want to know now.
I don't. I remember that it was at the time, and I don't know. I mean, this is so long ago, but I just remember hearing, you know, some things from Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian,
They didn't like you? Or there was some kind of an issue?
Yeah, I think there was some kind of issue. Nothing happened between us. So, you know, whatever I say is speculation or whatever, you know.
You don't even know.
I have no idea. But I do know.
Was it a vibe that you kind of felt?
I felt it. I felt it.
Did you feel welcome?
I did. I did.
That's good. Okay.
But I felt underappreciated. And you know, I don't, like I said, like I don't complain about anything until I start to feel, you know, disrespected. And I think it was just getting around that time where
you started to feel disrespected?
In a sense, yeah, in a sense, really? I did.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
you just you know.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, and it was just getting around that time where we started talking about other like a new contract, and just the numbers weren't adding up, you know. And I was just like, I remember I would say, you know, I could make more money being a manager at McDonald's than this contract that you're offering me.
I'm not trying to disrespect Ring of Honor.
I'm not. Yeah,
but
I'm
I'm
not.
telling you this, and this is a relatively top guy with that company, and you're talking 3 or 4 years ago now, but in the 30s, and I almost choked. I had no idea it was that low. So I can't imagine for a part-time guy that was working underneath.
At first, I didn't care. I didn't care because I was working all these guys.
You wanted the experience, yeah.
But then, you know, by me being on that part-time contract, I was getting booked like overseas and doing all this stuff, and I just started to see like, man, like I'm a star, like outside of Ring of Honor. It's not just Ring of Honor that I have, you know, what I have going for me. I have these other, you know, promotions that are wanting to work with me, and these fans that are like overseas. They enjoy me like being here and stuff like that. And I was like, I feel better. I feel more appreciated being on the Indies than I did, you know, being in Ring of Honor. So I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna step away and go back on the Indies, and that's what I did.
Overall, do you feel it was a good experience? Or?
For sure, for sure. I mean, you know, when you got a locker room like that, you know, stacked. You know, like the guys. I personally feel like the time that I was there was by far the most stacked that roster has ever been. You had Jay Lethal, you had the Briscoes, you had Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish, Donovan Dijak, Will Ospreay and Marty Scurll that just came in, the Kingdom. Like it was just Dalton Castle. Oh my God, Moose. It was just non-stop star after star after star after star after star. So that pushes you. That makes you want to be better. Yeah. So you know, if it wasn't for me, let me not forget Machine Guns. I was about to say Machine Gun Kelly, the rapper. Shit. But yeah, the Machine Guns. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, ACH, Cedric Alexander. It's like, when you have people that talented, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, like I can just keep going on.
You're getting me going, kid. What I don't understand is you have Sinclair Broadcasting.
Yeah.
They have more money than Vince. They could be running a world-class professional wrestling organization. Look at the names you just ran off.
Yeah.
Imagine if they actually tried to pay them what is quote-unquote market value back then, which would have been a lot less than it is now in 2020, where AEW and their television contracts have come into play. They should be AEW. I mean, you look at that roster right now that you just ran by, you're talking there's the majority of NXT, the majority of AEW, and the majority of New Japan. And they had all of them, and they did nothing with them to keep them.
Cody and the Hardys.
Cody, yeah.
The Hardys were there too.
The Hardys did that quick little run.
Insane.
And it's a shame.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the way I look at it is, the more promotions that are doing better, the more jobs it's going to create for people, the more fans it's going to generate. And instead, we have what it turned into, guys that leave to go to other places, because I guess to Sinclair, the property isn't as important as it should be.
Yeah.
You can't say, I'm going to watch Ring of Honor Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. It's on in a different channel. a different time in every city, and I've never understood that.
Yeah.
It just, to me, that says the parent company really doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you feel that way?
I don't know. I didn't try to look too much into it. I just knew that I was unhappy and I wanted to leave.
All right. Well,
That's pretty much it.
you had enough honor.
Yeah.
And you had enough of their ring. Well, I wish it went better. I think you, especially, and I hate to, please don't take this the wrong way, but I think at your size, that would have been a really good place for you long term, you know, if they were willing to open up the checkbook.
Yeah.
All right, well. All right, wrestling fans, we talked a little Ring of Honor. We continue to get to know this man. You can get to know him even better on his OnlyFans. What's that link again, Leo?
Onlyfans.com/Leo Rush.
We're going to put the link up during the show itself. Don't forget the Patreon is open at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Early, ad-free access to all of our talk shows. The Super Chat button is open for all of our great friends. You help us keep the lights on. And don't forget, it's that time of year again. My buddy, I miss him. The 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. We have 12 tremendous superstars, maybe even more. Who knows who's going to pop in that are going to help bring this campaign to life. If you missed Leo live November 5th, it's all right. You can still get the VIP package because we have the posters and the photos that he signed. We can include, and the same thing, whether you miss Tony Atlas, if you miss Marty Jannetty, you can, as long as you get your order in probably by December 20th, we can get that VIP package to you for Christmas. Is a gift to yourself, a gift to your loved one. But more important, you're helping update Santa Claus's GPS so we can find every kid's home. And that means a lot to us because in 2012, a very good man, myself and John Cena Sr. tried to put together a great concept, and we're in year 9. And in year 9, I have to say the champion of the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlock Cyber Toy Drive is Leo Rush. And again, as long as you are allowed to do it with any contract you have in the future, I hope it's an annual thing, because you're a good man. So with all those cheap plugs in, for my friend Leo Rush, I'm Dan Marati. We'll see you next Wednesday, 10 o'clock, for Wrestling Insiders, and you know I love to say it, Rush Hour. Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fanfest explodes into Christmas with interactive cyber autograph signings, live interviews, raffles, merchandise, and more. We were excited to bring you a wrestling event here in Boston, but we have the ability to bring a Cyber Fanfest to great fans like you around the world. Recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Leo Rush kicked off the drive with autographed photos and posters still for sale online. Let's run down the list of remaining cyber autograph signings where you can get an autograph photo for yourself or to give to a friend or a loved one this holiday. Mail order for your items is also available. On Survivor Series Sunday, November the 22nd, Marty Jannetty will be with us live for a cyber autograph signing during the Farewell to the Undertaker. You never know what to expect with Marty in studio live. We're back Friday, December the 4th with the veteran former Nation of Domination member Savio Vega, a.k.a. Quang, making a rare appearance in Boston. Things are going to get nasty on Saturday, December the 5th when Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs, the Nasty Boys, join us for the very first time. A great chance to get the former WWE and WCW Tag Team Champions signed. Sunday night, December the 6th, WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas returns for a Cyber Christmas party during our NXT Takeover Watch Along. Tony will be signing autographs and will also have his art available for purchase. The following Friday, December the 11th, one of the most powerful superstars in wrestling history, the Warlord, joins us live in studio discussing his WWF run beginning in 1988. Saturday, December the 12th, the superstar undefeated for 2 years in the WWF, Native American Tatanka, will be with us supporting the toy drive. Then on Sunday, December the 13th, it's a double feature of future star superstars as recent Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament competitor Wheeler Yuta joins us in studio for the first time after competing here in Boston Wrestling MWF, along with the man visiting us for the first time in 8 years, the new Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann. And it wouldn't be Christmas without old John Cena Sr. with us live and in person as he's been working the phones on the North Pole. Again, autographs and all-inclusive VIP packages are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Help our tradition of updating Santa's GPS to find every kid's home this year while creating smiles and honoring the late, great Paul Bearer's memory. From our family to yours, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.